Here we go. Let's have a good show.
38. Take nice. 8. Start wider, Phil.
Yeah.
Ready 4. Take 4.
Yeah.
Ready 9.
One more game on the docket. The most important game of the day. The championship game for the 2024 Clover Cup tournament. Dallas Derby Devils, Army of Darkness, taking on Rockin City. Shady, let's meet these teams.
For the Dallas Derby Devils, Army of Darkness, we've got 02 Coco, 113 Velocity Raptor, number 12 Sweets, number 1229 Juicebox, number 21 Crankdat, number 313 Lola Chola, 401 Ramsey, 44 Blazing Asian, number 5501 Scare Bear, number 88 Eliminator, number 918 Huckleberry Gin, number 96 Daisy Deathwish, number 999 Nancy, and the captain of the Army of Darkness, number 235 Guillotine Grace.
And now you're rocking City Roller Derby greatest hits. Starting off number 7, Jackie Daniels. Number 13, S. Payne. Number 17, Bacon Envy. Number 1966, Yolk. 1990, Rugrat. Number 202, Freight Train. Number 23, Fury. Number 297, Manicky. Number 4, Combat Kaylee. Number 44, Yellow Fever. 5011 is Moxie Balboa. 66-9, Miss Destruction. Number 69 is Masticate. Number 7 is Skinner. And your captain, number 19, Goldie. Those are your Rockin' City Roller Derby greatest hits.
We'd also like to take a moment to recognize the officiating crew for this game. Both non-skating officials and skating officials. They're going to be comprised of Cataclysm, Lethal Live, Rose Lambeau, May the Force, Bionic, Wolverine, Night Trotter, Poppin' Lock, Mortal Kombat, Kilt Trip, Ninja Sassum, Cataclysm, Rough Draft, Genetic, Danger Muffin, and Effin' Ref. Thank you so much for dedicating your time and your expertise to these games.
Expertise is on the third microphone in our team. Mr. PR Mageddon producing this event for us and keeping us informed, on track, and sounding remotely intelligent about this sport.
Remotely.
Thanks, PR.
Remotely intelligent, yes.
So, gentlemen, there is definitely something that I want to talk about this previous game, because as we all know, we've seen these two teams at this tournament before. So, previously, Rockin City defeating Dallas Derby Devils by 3 in a game fraught with energy, aggression, and the penalty count to show.
Let's hope it is just as good, just as exciting, maybe a little bit less on the penalty side so we can see some scores.
Starting off for their two teams is going to be Eliminator for Dallas and Freight Train for Rockin City. Freight Train looking for the inside line. Looks like she may find it. Meanwhile, Eliminator trapped in the back as Freight Train earns the first lead jammer of the game.
Eliminator in the game, the first time these two got together, had some serious penalty trouble, and from a jammer position, that's not always how we want to start off. Let's see if we can eliminate some of that for the Dallas Derby Devils jammer in this game. Freight Train rolling around for 4 already. Second scoring opportunity now for Freight Train. Tries to take a deep to the outside. Channeled back to the center of the track. Given a tap on the outside line as Eliminator was coming around for a scoring pass, shutting out the Army of Darkness in jam number 1.
We are going to have 3 points on that pass for Freight Train, 0 for Dallas, bringing the score 7-0 for this first jam. Did have a penalty in that jam as well.
Number 4 Combat Haley for Rockin City on the jam line. Ramsey for the Army of Darkness. Up front coming around turn number 1, Ramsey, lead jammer.
Combat Kaylee in the back of the pack. Re-attempting to engage as the pack reaches the top of the apex. Looking for the outside line, finds it. On her toe, stops to make the pass.
Excellent feat by Kaylee.
Call off by Ramsey. We'll see if it's a full 4, and it looks like it will be. Full 4 points for Dallas.
Ramsey was the top scorer for Dallas in the last contest. Freight Train, the top scorer for Rockin City in the last contest. So both of them had a good start from jamming so far.
Daisy Death Wish on the line, standing next to Freight Train. Freight Train again looking for the inside line. Finds it with a pivot. Penalties being called, opening up an opportunity for Daisy, but Daisy is pushed to the inside. Looks like it will be a no pass, no penalty, so she can clear. Freight Train through the pack, gets pushed out through the top of the corner, looking around, and does decide to call it off. Freight Train looking for Daisy Death Wish. 3 points on the board for Freight Train.
Velocity Raptor on the jam line for the Army of Darkness. Masticate number 69 in white for the Rockin City Greatest Hits.
If you're just joining us online, Rockin City playing in the white jerseys with blue accents. Dallas Derby Devils in the black with red. And out front, it's Raptor. One more to go. And Raptor is your lead jammer for Dallas. Meanwhile, back at the pack, Masticate has removed the helmet cover, looking for an opening on the outside, is dropped down. Still holds the cover.
There's been a really good second defensive line for Dallas all tournament with Huck, Scare Bear, and Coco really locking down that brace tripod 3-wall. Doing work once again on Masticate. Here comes Raptor for another scoring opportunity. Already 4 on the board for Dallas. Forearm penalty on Masticate. That's going to be power jam time for Velocity Raptor and the Army of Darkness.
Army of Darkness setting up shop in the top of the apex as Velocity Raptor approaches. On the toe stops on the outside. It's going to be Velocity Raptor for that pass.
Great job using that blocker for momentum to get around instead of trying to just avoid a hit, but utilizing that energy to complete that pass.
Velocity Raptor re-entering again on the toe stops on the outside line. Breaks through, now looking for the inside. Lateral move to lane 3. 2 blockers left to go. 3 blockers left to go. Penalty is flying.
Multiplayer block. Velocity Raptor down on the outside. Gonna have to recycle back towards turn 2. Huckleberry Jen headed to the penalty box for Dallas. That'll equalize the skaters on the track for the start of jam number 5. 16-point jam. Excellent work by Velocity Raptor to put the Dallas Derby Devils Army of Darkness in the lead.
And with that, it is an official lead change.
Hydrate.
Please hydrate.
Showing the jam line for the Dallas Derby Devils is Lemonator. Taking on for Freight Train.
Lemon already moving at that angle, but is trapped by the 3-wall. Getting some help from Nancy, but not before Freight Train. Before even the turn. 3 for 3, lead jammer. Lemon being sent to the penalty box. Power jam now, opportunity for Rockin to try to make up that scoring difference from last jam. Freight Train with the first 4 to close that gap on the board.
It's now the 3rd time that Dallas has employed the strategy while Freight Train is on the track jamming, really only committing 1 blocker to slow Freight Train down on the lead and focusing more on offense to get their jammer out and minimize the damage that Freight Train can do on the track. However, that blows up in your face when your jammer gets a penalty.
Exactly. Juicebox with the hit on Freight Train to push her out. Makes an executive decision to call the jam off. We will get 3 points on the board. However, Dallas Jammer was released from the penalty box, so we will start with a full complement of skaters. And we do have a lead change again.
Hydrate.
Please hydrate. I think this tournament's going to set the record for the most lead changes across all games.
People are going to feel really good leaving this event with the amount of hydration that they have committed to with all these lead changes.
Rugrat on the jam line for Rockin City. Ramsey wearing the star for Dallas. Rugrat, a newer addition to the jammer rotation, if I remember correctly. Multiplayer block penalty issued.
Ramsey pushing up front at turn 2, able to crack that 2-wall. Lead jammer, Ramsey.
Rockin said he definitely not making that easy on Ramsey. Taking full advantage of being camped in the apex.
Ramsey is such a grinder as a jammer. Even when slowed down by multiple players, will still push directly through those arms and get through and get that pass. There's 4 on the board for Ramsey now. Another scoring opportunity, taking a peek to the outside, hits a 2-wall. Inside is open for Ramsey, that's another 8.
And
Another
to confirm for everyone at home, we did have a star pass occur for Rockin City. Goldie is now the jammer and has received a forearm penalty. So this will be a power jam for Ramsey in the Army of Darkness.
First penalty of the contest, third penalty of the contest for the captain of the Rockin City Greatest Hits.
Dallas looking to take advantage of Goldie being trapped in the penalty box.
A little bit of a flip-flop from what we saw in game 1 where Dallas blockers were spending a lot of time in the penalty box and racked up a lot of first half penalties. Here we are in this contest, 2 players, S. Payne and Goldie, already with 3 penalties on the game. That's something that Rockin City is going to have to pay some attention to. Vital players to their ability to do what they want to do in this game, already in a sniffing of penalty trouble.
I completely agree, which lends itself to the fact that this team timeout has probably come at a very good time for Rockin City to kind of take a moment, reassess jammers in the box, create a plan, take a deep breath, and move forward.
To say that there might be some strategy in that as well, with the fact that we've seen the coach of the Army of Darkness, G.I. Joel, in the center of the track communicating with officials on things that he is seeing, giving recommendations on things to keep an eye on. And it seems to be paying off as calls are slipped in the way so far of of the Army of Darkness against Rockin City. We have a lot of game to go. And we have a lot of very high-level competitors that want to take home this victory.
Speaking of high-level competitors, we've got Daisy Deathwish on the jam line out for Dallas, and she's going to be out first. Makes it out through before turn 2 as lead jammer, taking advantage again of that power start. Goldie in the penalty box for Rockin City. Both of these teams have been alternating leads thus far for this game until now. This is the first time that one team has had a consistent jammer lead. Points on the board for Dallas.
Watching Daisy Deathwish flying around the track, I really like the angles that Daisy uses to get around the track as fast as possible after getting through the pack and getting points on the board.
No pack was called and a penalty was issued to Rockin City. That's going to allow Daisy an opening. However, Goldie has returned to the track as jammer, but not functioning as jammer right now, really taking a moment.
Huge hit there by Guillotine Grace. Cost a penalty to the box, but it sure seemed worth it because it helped get Daisy Deathwish out of that pack when Goldie was trying to keep her locked into that right side.
And Nancy.
Goldie thought no pass, no penalty. Goldie thought wrong because that's a track cut.
So again, we'll have Dallas switch into what looks like an offensive position, trying to allow Daisy out. And again, Daisy will call it off, keeping Goldie in the penalty box after what looks like it'll be a 12-point jam for Dallas. Army of Darkness slowly beginning to creep away. 16-point jam. Score has been updated.
Yeah, that's the second time that Goldie's had the star on the helmet and picked up a penalty. In those situations, it's cost Rockin City almost 20 points.
Eliminator trying to push through the top. Rockin spread too thin through the top of the apex. Lead jammer going to Dallas, but now they are regrouping. Rockin City saw Lemon coming. Lemon now caught with the Rockin City tripod up at the front. Penalty issued to Eliminator.
Did not see the hand call.
Blocking out a play was the call on Eliminator. This is going to give Rockin City that opportunity that they've been looking for. Goldie being forced to the inside. She'll have to recycle back behind the pack.
Huckleberry Jen to the box for a forearm. So skater advantage for blockers and a jammer right now. For Rockin City. Goldie works the outside pass. Coco. Initial pass complete. Now Eliminator back on the track right in front of Goldie.
Eliminator having received that penalty. We will go the full 2 minutes. Coco with the push out on the outside.
High block penalty on Bacon Envy. That did force a recycle, though, for Eliminator, who's going to have to continue to contest this pack. Trying to get a little bit of help, but her brace 3-wall has also become a problem while they're trying to keep Goldie locked around that apex.
Forearm is the call. Again, the penalty box, a rotating door right now as Eliminator comes around. Goldie will put points on the board, though, for Rockin City. Looks like 2. A testament, though, to the resiliency of Rockin City, though, only allowing Eliminator 4 points in that full 2-minute jam. For as much as was going on, not much was actually happening other than some very high-speed defensive work.
All right, this time we've got Freight Train for Rockin City towed up against Velocity Raptor from the Army of Darkness. Raptor lead jammer.
That's going to be 4 lead in a row for Dallas. Freight Train forced to recycle back, but re-engages the pack. Busts up the Dallas wall with fairly minimal effort.
Raptor taps the hips, calls off the jam, shuts out Rockin City on that pass. 2 points for the Army of Darkness.
That's going to be 3.
We're going 3 points for the Army of Darkness. There's a thumb.
There's this strip of paint on the wall in the venue that is exactly like in this weird flesh tone range. So sometimes a finger or 2 gets lost.
A digit.
A digit.
Combat Haley for Rockin City taking on Ramsey from the Army of Darkness.
Combat Haley finding an opening on the outside. Dallas rushes to try to catch, but it is going to end up being a track cut. Combat Haley did apparently step out on that straightaway.
That's going to put the Army of Darkness on the power jab.
Dallas trapping a go to the back of the pack. Ramsey also now forced to recycle back between the lines. Scrum at the pivot. Nobody can really kind of figure out where whose wall ends and whose wall begins. A little bit more separation now as they reach the apex, only to fly at the speed of a herd of turtles.
Combat
And it
Haley.
is, going to be Combat Kaylee through.
Not lead jammer because of the penalty situation. Ramsey does get through.
Very quick call off there by Ramsey as soon as she attained lead. 4 points on the board, though, for Rockin City.
55-27, 14 minutes, 40 seconds to go, period number 1. Jam number 11 will feature Freight Train from Rockin City. And Daisy Deathwish for the Army of Darkness.
Pivot line start for both of these teams. Daisy Deathwish and Freight Train both accelerating, but it's Daisy Deathwish that finds the opening on the inside. But quickly hunting her down is Freight Train. These jammers are blazing. Daisy makes it.
3 points for Rockin' City, 4 points for the Army of Darkness. First time in the contest, Freight Train did not get lead jammer. Second time.
Coming up next is going to be Masticate for Rockin' City. Eliminator for Dallas. Jam is on. Lemon looking for the inside, trying to whip off of a teammate, but will get called. Instead, out front is going to be Masticate for lead. Masticate looking for the inside line, can't quite find it.
Was able to jump around, crank that, but not able to elude Huckleberry Gin. Forced to recycle back to the jam line. Now takes an outside position. Doesn't see much room there, so a call-off is in order for Rockin' City.
And it looks like we will have 4 points there for Rockin' City. Trapping Eliminator in the penalty box.
Freight Train in Rockin' City on a power start for jam number 13.
Only 25 points separating these two teams right now as we are going into jam number 13. This is a crucial moment for these teams. Freight Train finding an opening on the outside. Takes lead. Eliminator has been released and approaches and finds that same spot in the corner to take advantage. Eliminator really pouring on the Jets. Freight Train coming out of turn number 2. Eyes on Eliminator though that whole time, gauging exactly where she was.
A little bit dangerous right there with Eliminator having the star in hand and getting close to a position where could put points on the board without the star fixed on the helmet would not have counted. I didn't think that Eliminator thought they were going to get to the pack as quick as they did.
Official review being called by Rockin' City, P. Armageddon. Heading out there to get you all the juicy deets.
Juicy Deets. That's the name of my new album that I'm dropping.
We'd also like to take a moment while we're waiting for the results of the official review to thank all of our wonderful sponsors for Clover Cup 2024. That sponsor list includes Blood and Thunder, Bont, Rude Chicks, DeBella DeBall Designs, WSL Leadership, RollerCon, Free Play, Rocktopus, Blue Massage, Crybaby Wellness, Lamb Lamb's Loot Box, Polly Smith, Crankdat Designs, Goodfoot Skates, Radiant IV, Strong Athletic, Debbie Doodles, God Loves Roller Derby Girls, Cube Cat, Roller Revival, and Ritz Safety. Thank you so much to all of our sponsors that help make Clover Cup possible to give these skaters an opportunity to really show us what they got.
The Dallas Derby Devils hosting Clover Cup 2024, and I'd like to give a shout out to all of the skaters and volunteers in the organization who are not actively participating in the games, but are the reason this entire event is running so smoothly. Amazing job by Indy and the production team. A shout out to everybody who is working to allow people in and out of the building, making sure we're safe, making sure we're taken care of. Big thank you to our hosts, the Dallas Derby Devils, for Clover Cup 2024.
Also, a great big thank you to our venue, NITEC Sports Center and Zaromas, giving us all delicious, tasty yummies, providing us with some adult and non-adult beverages. We'd also like to take a moment to thank the reason that all of you are able to watch us at home, Death Hounds Broadcasting. Thank you so much to DHSN for broadcasting all of this lovely stuffs and goodness and shoes and audience members and so much excitement.
Look, they're famous. Those folks are famous now.
Diamond, you're
they're
famous.
on live internet.
People in the top row, you're famous.
Two minutes and 40 seconds so far on this official review by Rockin' City. There must be a lot to get sorted out. We'll see what they have brought to this conversation when PR gets back from getting the deets, as you
Sweet, sweet details.
Yeah, pretty excited.
Also, a very happy birthday to Tot. Happy birthday, Tot. From Johnny Pepper. Tot being serenaded by the Army of Darkness. Thanks, guys.
All right, Shady, let's talk about a couple of things. We dove into it earlier. We've got a couple of seconds here, but we've got 4 penalties now for the captain of the Rockin' City Greatest Hits, Goldie, as well as 4 penalties for S-Pain. We've still got 12 minutes to go in period number 1.
We sure do. PR Armageddon has rejoined us here at the announce table. Can you fill us in on the goodness?
I can. Rockin' City was looking for an equipment violation penalty on the Dallas Jammer for not having enough of the jammer cap sticking out of the handball in the penalty box. The referees did review that, and they did see that while there might have been a confusion there wasn't not anything there to prove that it was an equipment violation, so the no call will stand.
No call will stand. Rockin' City will lose their official review as denoted on the scoreboard. Meanwhile, jam number 14 is underway with Rugrat as lead jammer for Rockin' City. Velocity Raptor out now as well for Dallas. Rockin' City jammer Rugrat entering the pack, calling it off quickly. Let's see a point count. We'll get 2 for Rockin' City, holding Dallas to a goose egg.
I want to touch on that official review, PR, because that's not the first time that somebody has done an official review for the exact same assumed infraction, and both times the Dallas Jammer was shown through review to say that they had enough of that equipment showing to not indicate that there was any penalty. So
the officials did say moving forward that we'll be looking for that in the penalty box now.
It's a challenge in those situations because with the black wrist guards and the black helmet cover, if any red isn't showing, it's hard to even see if there is any. So
correct, but meanwhile, Ramsey out front as lead versus Freight Train. Freight Train, though, right on top of her. Ramsey gonna call it off, not risk it. Choo-choo.
Dallas is going to take that type of, zero-sum efforts when they have Freight Train on the jam line.
There's a reason that Freight Train is so well known in the roller derby world, and that right there is one of them. Freight Train is one of those jammers who, not only can pick your biggest blocker up and move them, but also can catch your fastest jammer.
Combat Kaylee for Rockin' City taking on Daisy Deathwish from the Army of Darkness. Combat Kaylee, lead jammer.
Daisy Deathwish out as well. Combat Kaylee through the pack, sees Daisy coming, calls it off. We'll wait for points. 0 for Dallas. 1 for Rockin' City.
Solamente uno. This time on the jam line for the Army of Darkness, Eliminator taking on Freight Train from Rockin' City. Penalty box is completely devoid of skaters. That means 5-on-5, 80 wheels on the track. Here goes the attack for Freight Train. 7-car pileup that includes both jammers in that. Now Freight Train working that inside line, slips around Cholarola.
Forearm is the call
Chola.
on Freight Train. Dallas now with a power jam and lemon is the lead. Before now, Dallas had 5 scoreless jams with Rockin' City putting up 9 points. But with that pass, that drought is over. 4 points for Eliminator.
1 blocker advantage for Dallas. Trying to work some outside position. Lemon gets shut down on the outside, but finds inside of the apex to get 4 points on the board.
I felt the wind of their bodies colliding.
There was a whoosh sound. Nice block by Lola Chola to spring Eliminator for another 4 on the board. Freight Train back on the pack. back on the track and engaged with the pack. Looking for some positioning in the center. Excellent 3 tripod. Coco with a hip bump. Freight Train able to stay on track.
Points will be up 4 more for Army of Darkness. That's a 16-point jam for Dallas to Rockin' City 0.
75-39 inside of 8 minutes to go in period number 1, jam number 18. That's going to feature Masticate versus Velocity Raptor from the Army of Darkness. Once again, Rockin' City, greatest hits in white, blue accents. The Army of Darkness in the black and red that they have had all tournament.
And out front, it's going to be Velocity Raptor. High block was issued to, I believe that was number 17, Bacon Envy. Forearm penalty now for Guillotine Grace. Out front, Masticate finally free of the pack, but Velocity Raptor Caesar calls it off.
Third penalty for Masticate. For Bacon Envy.
Ramsey and Freight Train on the jammer line. Looked like we were going to get a pivot line start, but nope, we're going to get a center. A little slow roll back to start this jam off. Freight Train looking for the outside, is caught by a Dallas tripod. Meanwhile, Ramsey caught by the Rockin' City tripod. Almost forced to recycle, but is able to get back in. But Rockin' City rotating quickly to catch her. Multiplayer penalty being dropped, though, in the process. But out front, it is going to be Freight Train through the top of the apex, out as lead. Star pass has now occurred. Crank Dat now jamming for Dallas. Forearm penalty being called again to Bacon Envy. One point on that jam for Rockin' City.
And another penalty for Bacon Envy at the end of that. That puts 4 of the blockers from Rockin' City with 4 penalties. 3 of their blockers with 4 penalties each.
Rugrat now wearing the star for Rockin' City. Daisy Deathwish for the Army of Darkness. Rockin' City jammer Rugrat forced to recycle. Daisy Deathwish out front as lead. Helmet cover's been removed, but still in possession of Rugrat for the time being.
Daisy Deathwish with the 360 pop off the chest, and now crushed back to the inside.
That big pop to Daisy brought to you by Jackie Daniels. Not quite finishing the block to the line. That's going to allow Rugrat finally to exit the pack. Daisy Deathwish Caesar. We're going to have a conversation.
Yeah, it was a tough angle for the jam rep to see if the hips got past as the call off was happening. So Kat doing a great job of getting some assistance from the outside, from the OPRs. Throws up the total that was agreed upon by everybody, which is equaling 7 on the jam, which brings us to 86-40, 46-point lead with 4 minutes to go in period number 1. Eliminator now on the jam line for the Army of Darkness, taking on Freight Train once again.
Freight Train out front. Again, there's that sweet spot right as you exit turn 1 to hit the top of the apex that Freight Train is taking advantage of to really slide into that lead jam and roll.
And really selling the outside position to create that space. And you have to respect the speed and the power to the outside. And then quickly, because Freight Train has such great feet, gets right back to that sweet spot on the inside and completes the
Exactly.
lead
That's
jam.
why with jammers of this caliber, both Freight Train, Eliminator, for both teams, if you give them a skate width, they will take a whole track.
1-1. That jam was fun. Now we got on the jam line, Velocity Raptor taking on Combat Haley.
Out front first is going to be Combat Kaylee. Velocity Raptor still trapped in the pack.
Nancy headed to the box for the Army of Darkness. Raptor able to get through on the initial pass for AOD. A 4-point pass there by Combat Haley. That'll trigger a call off and shut out Dallas on jam.
Next jam, it's going to be Ramsey and Freight Train. Dallas with one blocker still left in the penalty box, so they'll be starting one short.
We're coming inside of 2 minutes now. Freight Train and Ramsey battling.
I think for a moment there at the beginning of that jam, you could hear all of them just take a deep breath and decide that Freight Train was going to take that inside line unchallenged, but now it's Ramsey's turn to chase Freight Train down as the pack flies through the second turn.
Pack is hustling. Both jammers are within a stride of each other. 2 players on the outside that were collected, so I think we're going to get a 1-1.
It is going to be 1-1. That Freight Train saw Crank at the top of the turn just barely come in, swooped her hips around just in time to call it off to catch that point. All right, normally we drink to a palindrome on the score, but today we're going to drink to the palindrome of jammers. Daisy Deathwish, number 96, and Masticate, number 69. Nice.
Out of play block is a call on Juice Box. That's going to open up some room coming out of the apex for lead jammer. Masticate and Rockin' City in control of this jam. Daisy Deathwish able to make that initial pass completed for the Army of Darkness. Now it's scoring time for Rockin' City. Masticate sprinting against Crank. That's Sweets. Sweets gets a shoulder and force off, but 4 points still collected for the greatest hits of Rockin' City. And that's going to conclude period number 1, ladies and germs.
All right, everyone, thank you so much for joining us for the first half of this game. Come back within, about 11 minutes. We'll be back here to give you a halftime update and breakdown, as well as present to you the second half. Welcome back, Derby fans. My name is Shady Hawkins, joined by Captain Motorboater, sitting next to P. Armageddon, and this is Clover Cup 2024, the second half of the championship game between Dallas Derby Devils, Army of Darkness, and the Rockin' City. Greatest hits.
88-50 is the score from the first half, and how we got there was not like we saw in game number 1 when these two went against each other. Rockin' City really got themselves into some penalty trouble and had to fight through that just to keep the score where it's at. Freight Train crushing things as Freight Train does, but really it's been the entirety of the Army of Darkness jamming core that have put points up on the board. We've got 3 players for Rockin' City with 4 penalties apiece. You've got the Captain Goldie, you've got Bacon Envy, and you've got S Payne, all with 4. That means they've got 3 left for this second period. Hopefully, they don't use any of them, is what they're trying to accomplish.
We would hope so. So right now, the overall penalty counts, Dallas sitting at 15, Rockin City sitting at 25. Again, like you said, though, Rockin City, those 25, though, seem to be concentrated pretty heavily around a specific group of skaters, all of which look like to be a part of that kind of core, like, blocker foundation. So previous game, like you mentioned, Dallas really being on the struggling end of the penalty count in the previous game. We definitely are seeing things reverse here. So, but then also last game, the situation changed at halftime. So we saw the penalty box start, filling up with Rockin City. So could it happen to this game? Could it now be Dallas's turn to, be through the revolving door of the penalty box? So we'll see how it goes. Dallas does, to that point, have 2 blockers that are going to be starting in the penalty box at the beginning of this half. That's going to be, it looks like, I believe, Sweets and Juicebox in the penalty box, with Eliminator going to be starting on the line, standing next to Freight Train.
Looks like Guillotine, Grace, and Nancy will be starting off the 2 blockers for Dallas. So double the skater advantage from a blocking perspective for Rockin City to kick off period number 2. All right, Derby fans, we are just a few seconds away from kicking this off. 5 seconds and we will hear a whistle that will indicate the start of period number 2. Quickly attacking was Eliminator, but Freight Train doing what Freight Train does, picks up lead jammer for Rockin City. Star pass complete now. Nancy, the jammer on record for AOG. Freight Train in a scoring position, hits the race tripod 3 wall. Nancy through for...
Both jammers now through. However, we are a pass behind each other. Freight Train re-entering the pack at the top of turn 3. Finding an opening on the outside. Nancy trapped, getting a little bit of defensive assistance there by Sweets. Sweets having to drop in order to form that bridge through the top of the apex. Head block for Guillotine Grace. Pack is drawn back through the straightaway as Nancy is recycling.
Twelve points on the jam so far for Rockin City, and here comes Freight Train. Coming around turn number 3. Fakes to the inside, swings around. Sweets now chest to chest with Juice. Juice with the force out. Freight Train tapping the hips to get the call off. 8 points total on the jam for the Army of Darkness. 12 points. No, we're gonna get him 3 more, I think. 15 points now for Rockin City. 31-point game now. Dallas Derby Devils 96, Rockin City 65. Jam number 2. Gonna feature Ramsey for the Army of Darkness, taking on Combat Kaylee. Number 4 in white and blue. Rockin City white jerseys with the blue accents. Combat Kaylee, lead jammer.
Star pass now to Crank that. Didn't quite make it to the back of the pack. Combat Kaylee, Star coming. Nothing on that jam. It's like we started.
Double donuts.
Donuts.
Freight Train back on the jam line for Rockin City. Taking out number 96, Daisy Deathwish from the Dallas Derby Devils Army of Darkness.
Penalty box is empty for now. Both of these jammers, the leading jammers for their respective teams for the first half. Pack is tight as it hits turn number 1. Turn number 1 is Freight Train's favorite place. But it's going to be Daisy Deathwish Forearm is the call. Dallas losing a blocker. Daisy finding an opening on the outside, though, untouched. Daisy through for another full 4. Juice and Guillotine Grace up at the top. Daisy finding the toe stops across the top of the apex for a pass.
I like the strategy on this from the Army of Darkness. Freight Train being out there. Let's run the full 2 minutes, even though we've got control.
Running the full 2 minutes. Dallas is trying to do their best to get that penalty box clear. And it is clear, so we will call it. 3 more points for Dallas on there, 4 for Rockin City, so that's going to be a 15-point jam for the Army of Darkness to Rockin City's 8 total. We were just talking about the penalty counts, and again, we're starting to see a little bit of a shift. Dallas having a little bit of a rotating door.
On the jam line for Rockin City, Rugrat taking on Velocity Raptor for the Army of Darkness. 2 blockers down in the back of the pack. That's going to allow plenty of room for Velocity Raptor to pick up lead jammer.
Whistles are flying. It's going to go to Crank Dat. Forearm penalty called there. Rugrat through the pack. Raptor will call. Looks like it's going to be 2 for Dallas.
Towing the jam line for jam number 5 for the Dallas Derby Devils Army of Darkness is Eliminator. Freight Train for Rockin City, Greatest Hits. Whistle blow, skaters roll.
Jam is on. Eliminator looking for the inside, doesn't find it. Instead, Freight Train creates an opening on the outside. Freight Train out first as lead. Eliminator close behind.
Eliminator closing quickly, finds room on the inside, slips right around Freight Train. That'll put 4 on the board for the Army of Darkness. Freight Train trying to get around Juicebox. Takes a peek across the track to see where Eliminator is and has now decided to call off the jam. Freight Train with lead and control, only able to put 3 points on the board for Rockin City while the Army of Darkness gets the 4.
Dallas being advised by their bench. Om.
Namaste.
Namaste. The derby in me sees the derby in you.
Masticate on the jam line now for Rockin City. Number 96, Daisy Death Wish. We've got our jammer palindrome once again going head to head. Daisy pulls the star cover off, then slips back on. I think Daisy was unsure that if there was a lead jammer assigned yet. Now, Masticate picks up the lead jammer for Rockin City.
Rockin City seeming to have Daisy's number, realizing that if they keep her super close to that line, it's really hard for her to be as jukey as she is naturally, but there is a star pass. Sneaky there. Crank that on the receiving end of that star. 4 points, though, on the board for Rockin City. Not enough. The star pass, that is.
That is. 117 to 80, 22 minutes, 20 seconds to go. Period number 2 on the jam line for Rockin City is Freight Train. Taking on Triple D's Ramsey.
Ramsey positionally placing herself, but is pushed back. Nancy trying to create an opening for Ramsey. Pack speed moves, multiplayer block is the call. We're gonna lose a Dallas blocker. Ramsey also sitting in the penalty box for a forearm. power jam opportunity for Rockin' City. No one, Freight Train has earned lead, but was recycled back. So now it's going to be up to Dallas for a penalty kill, but some great offense there by Rockin' City allows Freight Train to go free.
Freight Train being signaled as the lead jammer, so we'll have control. Slow offense, no offense needed because Freight Train unimpeded on the outside for 4 on the board. Penalty box empties for the Dallas Derby Devils as Freight Train comes through with another scoring opportunity. Juice box closing down the lane on the inside now, sandwiched in with Guillotine, Grace, and Nancy completing the 3-wall. Guillotine, Grace slapping in reverse now, picking up more teammates to support against turn 1's Freight Train's effort. Ramsey, initial pass completed. Freight Train feels Ramsey coming up to the back of the pack and calls off the jam.
Freight Train with 3 points on that pass for Rockin' City, totaling the jam to 7 points. Dallas Derby Devils, Army of Darkness, 117. Rockin' City's greatest hits, 87. We're coming up on the 20-minute mark in period 2 of this game. We'll be going into jam number 8 at the whistle. Combat Kaylee wearing the star for Rockin' City. Velocity Raptor for Dallas. Big tumble at the back there, but creates an opening for Velocity Raptor on the inside of the straightaway at the expense of Scare Bear going to the penalty box. Meanwhile, Combat Kaylee has also exited the pack. Pack is coming out of the apex, sees both jammers approaching. Rockin' City mostly to the front, though. Did Raptor get a point? Yes. 1 point for a single blocker towards the back of the pack.
Yeah, some unfortunate friendly fire there at the start of the jam for Rockin' City that caused them to drop 2 blockers to the outside. That gave lots of room for Velocity Raptor to get the lead jam on that and take control. Only 1 point, though, so not the worst case scenario for Rockin' City out of that. Eliminator again on the jam line for the Army of Darkness going against Freight Train.
Freight Train again looking for the opening in the center, but it is Eliminator that finds it. But a forearm call on Eliminator is going to send her to the penalty box. That's going to create an opening for Freight Train as lead jammer.
That's penalty number 5 for Eliminator.
Big hit and partner work there by Dallas. Stopping Freight Train, but only for a moment. Toe stops, saved her. Full 4.
Dallas organized defensively. If Freight Train comes to turn number 3. Tries to work the inside now, is getting some offensive help.
Waterfall from the inside to the outside is going to draw a penalty. Penalty on Guillotine Grace as the jam ends. 4 more points for Freight Train.
Freight Train with a nice self-propelled jersey whip. Grabbed the back of her jersey of her own blocker in front of her, and the elasticity of the fabric helps whip Freight Train right around the outside to pick up the extra 4 points. I think it's the first time I've ever used the word elasticity in a derby call, which I'm excited about.
Daisy Deathwish looking for the inside line. Meanwhile, Rugrat looking for the outside. Rugrat forced to the inside by the Dallas tripod up at the front. Daisy forced to recycle out, but quickly recovers. Both jammers with a lot of fast footwork, and we haven't even made it past the pivot line.
Lots of lateral back and forth in the track space, trying to find some room. Then gets dropped. Daisy Deathwish hit low and then lands on the backside. That didn't feel good.
I felt that from all the way over here. That was a firm collapse. Daisy Deathwish out first.
Rugrat pulls the star off of the helmet, but there is no pivot to pass to. So we're just carrying around luggage until we get an opportunity to see if that pass can happen. Meanwhile, Daisy Deathwish, scoring opportunity to the inside. Nice toe stop walk on turn number 1. Will get 4 points on the board. Rugrat working a two-wall, working against a two-wall. Coco joins the defensive effort at the front of the pack. Daisy Deathwish on the inside comes around 3 and 4 to put another 4 points on the board for the Army of Darkness. The pack has come to a halt here in turn 3. Rugrat trying to find some room, able to get the star pass now to Jackie Daniels, who's now stretching the two-wall from Dallas up front. Eclipsed that initial pass. Daisy Deathwish through for 4, taps the hips and calls off the jam. 12 points on the jam for the Army of Darkness. 130-95 inside of 16 minutes in period number 2. Jam number 11 will feature Ramsey from the Army of Darkness, and Rockin City will roll out Freight Train. G.I. Joel standing in the center of the track, has his hands together, and he is calling a timeout for Dallas. We've run through these dates a number of times, but if you are in the area and you want to come hang out with the Dallas Derby Devils on a number of occasions, the next few weeks you have all the opportunities. March 28th, the Dallas Derby Devils new skater and official orientation will be happening at 7 p.m. at the Forum Roller World. The sessions start Monday, April 11th. Visit www.derbydevils.com for more information on joining. And then on the 29th, just one day later, at Free Play in Arlington, the Dallas Derby Devils take over Killer Queen at Free Play in Arlington. If you want to check that out and see what it's all about, head over to the Vendor Village. Those games are still up and being played by some of the folks here in attendance, obviously during gameplay stoppage, because why would you turn your attention away from anything but this track in this outstanding championship competition between the Dallas Derby Devils, Army of Darkness, and Rockin City Roller Derby's greatest hits. 5 seconds to go back to Derby action. Freight Train and Ramsey squaring off once again. Freight Train works a little step to the outside, and then the entire section vacated by Ramsey is opened up on the inside. That gives Freight Train lead jammer. Ramsey threw on initial pass. Freight Train in a scoring position coming around the apex through 2. One-on-one with Juicebox, a nice shoulder shake by Freight Train will get 4 on the board. Very quick maneuver there by Ramsey. Also gets 4 tallied for the Army of Darkness. Freight Train smashing through the back of Nancy as the whistles blow. Seven points on that jam for Rockin City, 4 for the Army of Darkness. Official review now. This time for the Dallas Derby Devils, Army of Darkness. I'm going to go out on a limb and try to do some predicting. I think that at that whistle, the contact that Freight Train made against the blocker from Dallas, Nancy, I think they're probably going to check for a potential back block in there. Or it could be something completely else.
It could be something completely different because that's the magic of roller derby.
We never know what's going to happen. But what we do know is there are more dates to hang out with the Dallas Derby Devils here in the area. April 13th, the Dallas Derby Devils home season opener. Game 1, the Death Row Rumblers taking on the High Seas Hotties. Game 2, the Y'all Holla exhibition game. That's right. Here at Dallas Derby Devils, we are pleased to announce that Y'all Holla Men's Roller Derby, the aspiring MRDA team, has officially joined the Dallas Derby Devils family. So for tickets and information, again, go to www.derbydevils.com. Right now, we talked about some penalties earlier, Shady. The 3 skaters that had 4 penalties for the Rockin City Roller Derby have not picked up any more penalties in this second half. However, in an interesting turn of events eliminator, Jammer for the Army of Darkness sits with 5 penalties. A couple of skaters now for the Army of Darkness with 4 as well. You've got number 12, Sweets, and number 235, Guillotine Grace with 4 penalties.
Indeed, as this jam gets back underway, we've got Velocity Raptor for the Army of Darkness and Masticate for Rockin City. P. Armageddon, can you give us a little bit of an update about what just happened with that official review?
Yes, I can. Dallas is looking to get a back block penalty on Freight Train in the last jam. Upon review, no back block occurred, so it would be no call stands, and Dallas lost the review.
And when that all went down on the explanation, we had a forearm penalty to Velocity Raptor, which means power jam happening for Rockin City. Huge hit by Huckleberry Gin on the outside. Masticate took that and now back up. Works through turn 3, puts 4 points up on the tally for the Rockin City Roller Derby Greatest Hits. Nice offensive block by Goldie, giving some room to, but now Coco goes chest to chest against Masticate. Crank that, and Velocity Raptor back on the track and engaged with the pack. Raptor inside position, but turned away by Goldie. Goldie now back through the apex, back into turn 3. Nice play by Goldie, the captain for the Rockin City Roller Derby Greatest Hits. 134 to 112. 12:58 left in period number 2. This is the closest it's been in this period. We've been sitting right around a 30 to 31 point lead for AOD, but now Rockin City has trimmed at least 10 off of that, and we are getting into a much tighter contest as the bout moves on.
Again, the pack generally just kind of taking a big deep breath there at the beginning of the jam, with Ramsey jamming for the Army of Darkness Freight Train for Rockin City. So almost no movement there for like a half breath. As Ramsey now trying to find the opening on the outside, spreading the pack out through the turn. It's getting close. One left, and it's Ramsey.
Ramsey took a shot there, and it looked like I might have injured the hand a little bit. But in roller derby, no time to slow down for.
Star pass has been completed by Rockin City Center, taking the star.
Ramsey up and back to the bench after getting that call off done.
Looks like 1
point for the Army of Darkness done for Rockin City on that jam. So for jam number 14, number 96, Daisy Deathwish for the Dallas Derby Devils Army of Darkness is going to take on Combat Kaylee once again for Rockin City. Back comes a full reverse to beat the jammers at the whistle. Combat Kaylee has space on the outside but gets knocked off the track. Track cut is the call.
Daisy Deathwish trying to find an opening again, also in the smallest of spaces on the inside line, doesn't quite find it.
Power jam for the Army of Darkness. Still trying to get that initial pass completed and take control of the jam, but a great job of lateral defensive positioning. 30 seconds, almost killed the whole penalty before the initial pass was completed, but now scoring opportunity for the Army of Darkness. Daisy on the inside now, pushed back to the center of the track, takes a peek to the outside, but opens up a door. Combat Kaylee gets the initial pass done. Forearm penalty now on number 17, Bacon Envy.
Looks like we're going to get 3 for Dallas on the board for that pass. Even though we are more than 3/4 of the way of this game being done, the intensity of some of these hits has not mellowed even the tiniest bit, but This is really a testament to the stamina of and experience level of both of these teams, having skated at this higher level. Eliminator looking for the opening, doesn't quite find it, is forced to recycle, will go in, but whistle is blown, and it is going to be a track cut drawn on Eliminator. This is going to give Freight Train an opening to earn lead. We are under 10 minutes left in this game. Dallas with a full complement of blockers on the track, though. Freight Train hitting the back of the Dallas wall, gets some offensive help to break it up. Top of the apex. Freight Train gonna have to call that jam off as advised by the bench. 3 points for Rockin City. Timeout now being called by Rockin City. Again, clock management.
Clock management has really been really important at this stage of the game. But also timeouts. You want to have them in case we get into some scenarios where the score is extremely close.
And as the minutes count down, these stoppages only play to your advantage. Right now, Rockin City, after this timeout, will have one team timeout left and do have their official review. Dallas, however, does not have their official review, but they do have 2 timeouts left. So clock stoppages, I think, going to start becoming a major strategical element to the game the more the clock winds down. We're going to be going into jam number 16 in this game. 9 minutes, 3 seconds on the clock. Dallas Army of Darkness, 138. Rockin City Greatest Hits, 115.
We talked about earlier penalties. We've talked about it over and over in this contest, but we're in a very critical situation with penalties now where Eliminator has picked up the 6th penalty of the game and only has one more before expulsion.
Simultaneously, Bacon Envy having picked up her 5th for Rockin City. So there's definitely a complement of skaters out there for both teams that really have to kind of keep their eye on the ball. An Eliminator out on the inside will take lead. Rockin City opts to let her go.
Initial pass done by Freight Train as well. Eliminator has turned around to see where Freight was on the track and has decided to call that off. Another double donuts for that jam, but right now the clock is the best friend of the Army of Darkness. Every one of those seconds that ticks off and points aren't being totaled on the Rockin City side takes them one more step closer to the championship trophy. Excuse me, medals.
Medals. No, there is a trophy.
Oh, is there?
There is a trophy.
I haven't seen
In
it.
fact, it's the original Clover Cup trophy. The OG trophy. It's a cardboard cutout of a cat, y'all.
Meow. Velocity Raptor for the Army of Darkness taking on Rugrat here in jam number 17. Pack is stuck in turn 1. Lots of recycling, lots of forcing back to that position. Now Rugrat had some space to the outside, but has gone chest to chest with Nancy. Nancy with a high block penalty is going to go to the box. Rugrat lead jammer.
Big hit by Coco on the inside will force Rugrat to have to recycle.
Just realizing it, Rugrat lost the helmet cover on the inside of the track, was going to make it a scoring pass, and then heard the crowd yelling, "Go get your helmet cover, it's in the middle of the track." Rugrat recycles, picks up the star, puts it on the helmet, and now back into a position to put points on the board for Rockin City. Four points on, but Raptor still working, trying to get through while Rugrat continues to make some work. Raptor able to get that initial pass done for Dallas. Now in a position to score points. 4 on the board already for Rugrat. And with the encroachment coming in by Raptor is going to force a call off. 138-122 coming up on 6 minutes in the period. This game is getting tighter and tighter by the Jam. G.I. Joel standing in the center of the track and looking at the clock. It can only mean it's timeout time. So timeout, Dallas Derby Devils, Army of Darkness. Shady?
It's almost like I knew this was coming.
It's crunch time.
It is crunch time. So, again, clock stoppages playing a huge role in strategy as we get closer to the end of this game. We are less than 6 minutes going into Jam 18 on the whistle. You've got players on both teams that have high penalty counts. Both of these teams really match each other well in their endurance. They match each other well in their energy level. They match each other well in their mental toughness. At this point, it's going to be a gamble of who takes advantage of the stoppage better. Because like I've always said, if you have a stoppage for your team, it's always a stoppage for the other team too.
Timeout concluded now. 5-on-5 skater about to happen. 80 wheels on the track, waiting for that whistle to blow. The skaters roll. Inside goes Freight Train. Ramsey's going to follow using a Freight Train trick and allow Freight Train to create the hole that Ramsey can get through. Now Freight Train pushing back around the inside. Ramsey's got a little bit of luck and work to do at turn 1. Barreling through turn 2 and lead Jammer Freight Train.
Star pass completed to Crank Dat. Really pushing the speed. Penalty being dropped to Lola Chola at the very end of that jam. It was a track cut. 3 points to Rockin City. Rockin City slowly creeping up. 13-point difference between these two teams. Masticate going to wear the star for Rockin City. Daisy Deathwish for Army of Darkness.
Dallas wants to continue keeping this lead. These jams are the advantage positions that they have to take while Freight Train is on the bench. Taking control of the jam is what Dallas has to do, but right now Masticate has said, "Nuh-uh, I got this." Lead jammer, Masticate, Rockin City. Coming in hot and right into the back of Guillotine Grace goes Masticate. Juicebox with a cleanup shot that's going to force a recycle back to turn 4.
Masticate through the center with the first scoring pass of the jam. 4 points on the board for Rockin City. Daisy Deathwish again forced to recycle to the inside, getting a little bit of offensive assistance there from Guillotine Grace. Guillotine Grace waiting for Masticate, but Masticate makes it all the way around, bounces off the chest of Lola Chola, and Masticate is through. This is a 5-point game. Masticate goes down in the apex. Dallas wall reforms.
Rockin City bench doing, everybody on the bench doing the call it off hand signal dance.
2 more points for Rockin City, making it a 10-point jam. 3-point game.
Timeout, Rockin City. Derby fans, are you not entertained? Dallas Derby Devils haven't scored in 5 jams.
Last time this happened, Dallas came back with a vengeance. So let's see if, again, somebody can take advantage of the clock stoppage. I can definitely tell Rockin City right now really wanting to focus on controlling the momentum, wanting to make the most of their time on the track. This will be full 5-on-5 roller derby. Again, under 3 minutes and 30 seconds left in the period. We'll see at least 2 more jams, possibly 3, possibly 4, depending on how it falls, but at least 2.
Interesting, we talked about clock management and a stoppage. what felt like a ton of momentum on the side of Rockin City, and then they called the timeout. This allows the Dallas Derby Devils to regroup, re-strategize. Now, when you're doing a rotation this tight with your jammers, like Rockin City is with Freight Train, you have to get this timeout because you need as much energy that you can keep for Freight Train. Freight Train might be the jammer on record for the rest of this game for Rockin City, based on what the score looks like. Ramsey out there for the Dallas Derby Devils Army of Darkness as we come out of the timeout. Jam number 20.
Jam is on. Openings on the outside. Dallas looking to close. Freight Train getting some offensive assistance. Whistle is flying. Can't tell who it's for just yet. It is a direction for, and it's 1-1. And it's going to be Freight Train out first for Rockin City. Quickly, closely followed by Ramsey. Dallas quickly moving to the front of the pack to try and extend that space. Freight Train moved to the inside. Gonna call it. How many points is it gonna be? Nothing for Dallas. 2 for Rockin City.
After jam number 20, 1 point separating the Dallas Derby Devils Army of Darkness from the Rockin City Roller Derby Greatest Hits.
They're gonna keep Ramsey out. Combat Kaylee on the line and on the start. Both jammers caught up in the wall. Still stuck between the lines, looking for an opening on the inside. Can't quite find it. Moves through. Combat Kaylee is broken loose. Can the pack reform? Combat Kaylee is out as lead.
But fell down.
5 in a row. Ramsey forced to the outside, will recycle. Combat Kaylee in the pack. And a back block is the call on Combat Kaylee. Power jam for Dallas. However, we don't know if Combat Kaylee has points in the pocket. Combat Kaylee may have points in the pocket.
Initial pass completed by Ramsey. Now it's a point scoring opportunity for Dallas. Pinballed around. Ramsey back up to escape, looking for space. Gonna get some help.
Ramsey with the offensive help makes it through the pack for 4. Jammer has been released. Ramsey hitting the back of the pack, looking for an opening on the outside, is forced out, will recycle. Combat Kaylee entered the pack. Ramsey recycle. Combat Kaylee caught at the front of the pack by Dallas blockers. Penalties flying though.
Ramsey's got one skater in front of her, but that skater's Jackie Daniels. Now Jackie gets some support. But both jammers are in a lock position coming out of turn 4 at the jam line with just a couple seconds and now no more seconds left.
We're gonna get, looks like 3 points for Dallas, 4 points for Rockin City. And we will have an official review.
Now Rockin City had that official review in the back pocket. Unsure what they're going to review, but this is also one of those situations where you could be just essentially using it as a timeout to get the stoppage to get one more jam in with a 6-point deficit currently.
Doesn't necessarily looks like they will be asking for something, but then again, if I'm Rockin City's coach, I'm making something up to ask for at this point. But that's not saying that that's what they're doing. I'm just saying if it were me and if I didn't have something I wanted to discuss, does look like Rockin City coaches do have something they want to discuss.
I would suggest that there has never been a roller derby jam in the history where a coach didn't think that something was missed by an official. And if you gave them 100 official reviews, they would use all 100 of them.
You know what? You're probably right. You're absolutely right, sir.
But in this scenario, we're going to find out what's going on because we sent our man on the street, P. Armageddon, out to the center of the track to help gather information to bring it back to you from the stream. All right, let's level set this as we currently know it. We have 146 points on the side of the Dallas Derby Devils Army of Darkness. We have 140 points for the Rockin City Roller Derby Greatest Hits. There's 13 seconds left in the contest. Jam 22 will happen. We're going to find out what the results of this official review are.
And I can guarantee you, every single person at home in the chat, I promise you, we are reading everything you're saying, and we also are breathing into paper bags here at Trackside. P. Armageddon, tell us what it's all about.
Rockin City was looking for a blocking with the head penalty on that last jam. After review, no such penalty occurred, so the no call stands.
Jam is on. Daisy Deathwish and Freight Train, and it's going to be, who is it? Freight Train with the truck cut. Lead jammer going to Daisy Deathwish. Period clock has expired. Daisy Deathwish calls it. The unofficial score at this time is 147-140, but it is unofficial, so we're gonna hold. Please, if you're in venue, do not enter the track. Swoopy whistle has happened. Final score, Dallas Derby Devils, Army of Darkness 147, Rockin City Greatest Hits 140. Whew.
What a jam. Instantly let us know what was going to happen. As soon as Freight Train got hit with that track cut, all Dallas had to do at that point was tap the hips and take it home. Your 2024 Clover Cup champions, the Dallas Derby Devils, Army of Darkness! Sorry.
All right, give it up for Rockin City's Greatest Hits. Excellent game by both teams to wrap up Clover Cup here. Exciting championship. Give it up for both of these amazing teams that playing it all out there on the track.
At least my voice is gonna hold out. You know, you save yourself for this, right? All right, roller derby fans, how y'all doing? I guess I'm on the Johnny Pepper cam.
I want to give some official love. So if I could get Queen, Lucia Tifa, the Doctor, and Pika, come on down. Queen, my queen. I got a box for you. And if you'll look up there at the TV camera and wave to all the good people at home watching, give it up for Queen Lucia Tifa! Doc, I love you, man. I got a box for you. You ready? Give it up for the Doctor! And where's Pika at? Pika, come on down. Don't be scared. No? Well, somebody come get it for her. Come on, Ninja. Pika's not here, but give it up for Ninja! Okay. MVP blocker of the whole tournament. They get a trophy. They get a wellness box. The MVP blocker is Goldie. Wave to the camera, Goldie. And go ahead and stay up here for a little while. And here's your box. Don't forget your box. We'll set it right there for right now. Your tournament MVP pivot and sponsor Creek Dad. I've never seen this award, but congratulations. Give it up for Craig Dad. This next award is the Clover Cup 2024 Tournament MVP People's Choice. Freight Train! One more time, give it up for Freight Train! And now, the 2024 Clover Cup MVP Jammer, Daisy Deathwish! Give it up for my tournament MVPs! One more time, give it up for my MVPs. No, y'all can do it. Clover Cup 2024, third place team. Give it up for Charlotte Roller Derby. Come on down. Keep making noise for that team in purple. Hey, Charlotte, come on over here. Yeah, stay right there. Y'all can get pictures. One more time, give it up for Charlotte roller derby. Sharknado, come on down, brother. Make some noise for Rockin City! Yeah, y'all gather up for a picture. One more time, give it up for Rockin City! And now, the moment we've all been waiting for, the 2024 Clover Cup champion, the Dallas Derby Devils. One more time, make some noise for the Army of Darkness. And from the inaugural Clover Cup in 2012, the trophy's back home where it belongs in Dallas. One more time, give it up for the Army of Darkness. On behalf of the Dallas Derby Devils, the Death Hound Sports Network, the North Richland Hills Police Department, and everybody that made this happen, I'm Johnny Pepper. Peace, love, and roller derby.